Hi everybody, thank you for joining my channel Living Divinity. So today I want to talk about loyalty. Loyalty begins in the home. In your home, you gotta feel safe. You gotta feel like you belong. You gotta feel like you're part of something, part of the family. When you're raised with like in my family, it was like a torture thing. And my dad, when he was growing up, he was about 8 years old, 9 years old, and he would ask his mom if he could have money to go buy ice cream. And she told him, Rudy, you have to earn your money. So clean the floor, mop the floor, and I'll give you some money. So I'm sure he did his best. But what looks good to an 8-year-old and what looks good to an adult usually are two different things. My dad did the best that he could, and my grandmother heated up coins on the stove. And when he said he was done, she said, come here, open your hands. And she kind of scooted the money onto my dad's hands. She heated the coins up on the stove. So from there, when my dad got married to my mom, the oldest brothers, always the oldest, were in charge when my parents weren't around. And I wasn't born yet, but from what I understand, there was a lot of torture going on. Even for my sisters, I don't know what they did wrong or whatever, but they used to have to kneel and hold two like buckets of whatever, water or rice, but they had to kneel down in the rice. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that must have felt like? It's like poisoning your soul. So that actually trickled down, all the way down, and my family, within my family tree and our immediate family. And we all had to learn to live with it. When I had my daughter, she was a little toddler, and I was doing the dishes, and we didn't have the little covers for the electric outlets, and I saw her getting ready to put a butter knife in there. Kids do crazy things. And I stopped her in time, and I gave her a good spanking. And it made her cry. I didn't beat her, but I did spank her because I wanted to let her know. And afterwards I told her, I said, you could really hurt yourself worse than my spanking. But it was really the parents' fault for not securing the house and making it safe. Shortly after that, we bought what we needed, what we should have had. We have to love our family better than that. And I'm not saying that I regret how I was raised. I'm just saying that we weren't allowed to be close-knitted. There was always some sort of drama going on. My brother Randy, he had a discussion with my dad in the kitchen, and it started getting really heated. So Randy turned around and walked through the living room. I was sitting in the living room, and my dad yelled at him, said, "Don't turn your back on me." And he threw a wrench. My dad threw a wrench at my brother and hit him in the middle of his back. And all my brother did was he didn't fall like down to the ground, but you could tell he had a lot of pain, and he kept walking. My mom, I don't really know what discussions were going on behind closed doors, but that really damaged my brother, and it really angered him, and he didn't feel like he had anyone to talk to about it. Shortly after that, he came home from school one day, and he was mad, and our dog was in the house, Kumba, and he started yelling at him. And one of the older sisters, Tina, she's telling Randy, "Stop yelling at the dog." And he punched her and gave her a black eye. A short time after that, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was still angry, and he picked me up. I was about between 7 and 9, but it's about that. It had to have been 8 or 9 actually, and he picked me up by the back of my pants and by the back of my shirt, and he threw me face first onto my parents' floor, which was carpeted. And I had rug burns from my eyebrows all the way to my chin. And yes, it hurt a lot, but I never said I hated my brother. I never said bad things about him. I never said I wish I didn't have him, because I knew he was suffering from the punishment my dad put on him. We have to be careful how we raise our children. The thing about coming back to Guadalupe and Santa Maria area is I realized that we're all separate. My 2 older sisters that are still alive, they've been close their whole lives. My brother, who's a year and 4 days older than me, he lives here. Him and I don't talk. We don't talk because we have a lot of pain. I lived with them for 11 days or 16 days when I first got here. I couldn't stand to be around him any longer than that. And that's another story. But hurt people really do hurt people. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that nobody's perfect. Nobody is undamaged. Everybody has gone through something that negatively impacted their lives. We have to learn to heal. We have to learn to move on. We have to learn not to gossip about each other, backstab each other, intentionally hurt each other. That's the only way the world's going to change, is to have more love and loyalty to each other without conditions. I love where I grew up. I love the good memories. We had a family reunion here. I'm at Waller Park, and my sister Tina reminded me of it. And she said, "Don't you remember when Mom was coming up the hill? And when she was at the top of it, she was dancing. Those were the best days, some of the best days of my life. When all the aunties and uncles gathered. And we all the kids had a lot of fun. There was a lot of togetherness then. And now we're all so separate. I dream of a day where we can all gather together and we can all just love each other. I almost feel that's generations away, but we have to start somewhere. Being loyal to our ancestors, not talking badly about them. Because when we do that, it's a reflection upon ourselves, what our family has done wrong, how our family's not perfect. We have some family members that walk around and they act like they're better than other people. They're not better. They've just been able to hide it a little better. I was raised to look after any of my family members that I'm around. When I lived in Hawaii, my cousin Judy lived about 10 miles away. She's the oldest out of her family. I'm the youngest out of mine. And I would go out of my way to pack a few items that I thought she might need, toiletries or food items, canned goods. And I would bring them to her. And she was very grateful for it. And I would pick her up and bring her over on Sundays and make Sunday dinner, and then pack some food with her and take her back home. And she always had a safe place in my home. That's what family's about. But now she lives in Upper California, and I live in Central California. But she doesn't even call me. She doesn't even reach out to me. She doesn't even, well, I don't know if she thinks about me or not. We can't forget the good things that people do for us. And we can't take them for granted. I love my family. Try to love more. Thank you.